walking through your fire. Fire speaks about life, its challenges. Yes, the heat, walking through your fire. Fire speaks about life, its challenges. Yes, and the pressures of life that can be demanding. Walking as opposed to being stagnant or about to give up. If that is you going through a fiery time in your life, then this message comes to encourage you. Daniel chapter, very familiar chapter in the Bible that encourages every disciple, especially when we are going through a tough time. It is a story of those 3 Hebrew boys. Oh, how we love them. These Hebrews were in the land of Babylon, held captive by King Nebuchadnezzar. These 3 Hebrew boys were in the service of a king called Nebuchadnezzar. One day, Nebuchadnezzar decided to build a monumental golden statue, and the whole of his kingdom had to fall down and worship that statue. And the penalty for not worshiping that statue would be to be thrown in the fiery furnace. But here we go, the 3 Hebrew boys, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused to bow down before that idol, that golden statue. Can you imagine the scene? Everyone is bowing down before this statue, but here these 3 boys, they're sticking out, yes, standing out in the middle of everyone bowing down, but they are standing. So they stood out in the crowd. And as a result, yes, they were thrown into the fiery furnace. And when they were approached by King Nebuchadnezzar, as they stood before him in Daniel chapter 3, verse 17, the king said to them, "Well, you have not bowed down to my statue, and you are going to be thrown in the fiery furnace." And here is the response of the 3 Hebrew boys, Daniel chapter 3, verse 17. "In that case, the God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us from your hand, O king." Verse 18, "But if not, let it be known to you, O king, that we do not serve your gods, nor we will worship the golden image which you have set up." You see, Daniel had these 3 friends that were just as fastidious in their faith as he was, refusing to bow down. And as a result, yes, they were bound, and they really, really annoyed the king, because the king declared that fire to be 7 times hotter. In fact, those that put them in that fire were burned to death. But this is what happened to them. Miraculously, God was with them in that fire, and they came out not even a hair being singed in that fire. God delivered them as they chose to be obedient to God in worship to him. You see, you and I go through many fiery trials. In fact, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 12 tells us, "Dear friends, do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you as though something strange was happening to you." Verse 13 tells us, "But rejoice inasmuch as you participate in the sufferings of Christ, so that you may be overjoyed when his glory is revealed." And verse 14, "If you are insulted because of the name of Christ, you are blessed, for the Spirit of glory and of God rest upon you." You see, when you go through a fiery trial, and when you rejoice in and through that fiery trial, you know something special about you, that the Spirit of God rest upon you. And so it was with these 3 Hebrew boys. So I want to leave with you with 4 things. 1, walking in your fire. When they were first cast into the fire, the Bible tells us in Daniel chapter 3, verse 23, and these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down, bound into the midst of the fiery furnace. Right where it was the hottest, they fell down. Perhaps life has done that to you. You are in a fallen state. Yes, fell down. And apart from being fallen into that fire, they were also bound. How many of you use that phrase and said, my hands are tied, I just can't do anything. Life has left me bound. Life has left me crippled. Life has left me helpless, and I cannot get out of this. That was the scene that we see in the life of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But something happened to them, because verse 25 of Daniel chapter 3 tells us, when the king looked, he saw something in that fire. He answered and said, lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the 4th man is like the Son of God. You see, you have to remember, as you keep walking in the fire, that very fire that was meant to leave you helpless and paralyzed is going to loose the bonds of you. You are going to be set free and go to another level. Because you may see it, or you may not see it, or you may not want to acknowledge it, but the 4th man is with you in the fire. Yes, the 4th man is with you in the fire. God is with you in that fire. So keep walking. You see, so often, many of us as Christians, when we go through a fiery trial, as Peter tells us, what do? We stop walking. But I'm here to tell you to keep walking, even in the midst of your pain, even in the midst of your sickness, even in the midst of your trial, whatever you are going through right now, keep walking. That's what they did. You see, many of us say, oh, I'm going through such a tough time. I can't open my Bible and read, Pastor. I can't pray, Pastor. I can't even come to church because I am going through a fiery trial. But keep walking means doing your spiritual disciplines even though you are going through a hard time. So I'm here to encourage you and to push you forward. Keep walking even when you are in a fiery trial, because God is with you. And these boys did something. They held fast to their faith. What is going to get you out of that? You see, they held fast to the promises of God. The Bible tells us in Hebrews 10 verse 23, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promised. He is faithful that promised. That word hold fast is to be resolute. Yes, never to give up. So if you are going to church, never stop going to church. If you're reading your Bible and praying, never stop reading your Bible and praying and letting your light shine, even when you're going through a hard time. Because Daniel chapter 3 verse 17 says, these 3 Hebrew boys held on to the promise that God we serve is able to deliver us out of this furnace as well as out of the king's hand. So they were not going to bow down to any idol. They held fast to their faith. And you see, let me leave you with this final thought. The king commanded them to go in the fire, and the same king commanded them to come out of the fire. You see, there's a king over your life that knows everything about you. God will not let something happen to you without his permission, as we learn from the book of Job. Perhaps you're in that fire, and the king that commanded you in the fire is a king that's going to command you out of that fire. As we read in Daniel chapter 3 verse 26, then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace and spake and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, your servants of the Most High God, come forth, come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth out of the midst of the fire. The king called them by their name. Shadrach, come out of the fire. Meshach, come out of the fire. Abednego, come out of the fire. And I can hear him call my name, Sharon, come out of the fire. Can you hear him call your name? You are about to come out of the fire. But what you need to do is hold fast your faith. Know that God is with you in the fire and never give up. Keep walking in your fire.